Every build starts with a vision, but visions don't move dirt. They take planning, patience, and a whole lot of trust. Out here in Aubrey, Texas, we're turning empty land into opportunity. With tight deadlines, unpredictable weather, and a dozen moving parts, this project will test every skill we've got. We're excited to invite you to follow along as we bring this project to life, from the first dig to the final walkthrough.
I'm Nick with Structured, and welcome to the Aubrey Stallion Business Park.
Hey, my name's Nick Ritter. I'm with Structured. We are a commercial-focused general contracting company. My partner is my dad. I pulled him out of retirement to start Structured. And working with my dad means every project comes with decades of experience, not just in construction, but also with each other.
One of the reasons we wanted to start a construction company is because both of us had dealt with contractors in various careers throughout our years. And a lot of contractors promise the world, but when it's time to deliver, they rush the job, cut corners, or put profit above people. We knew we wanted to be different.
With a focus on safety, integrity, teamwork, and efficiency. To do things the right way and to do things in a structured process, in a structured way. Not only deliver a project that is successful on time, on budget, but also to be a good experience for the client.
I'm Aaron Davis. I'm the owner of SBM Real Estate Services. I was looking to build office warehouse. You're always going to have business owners that need space. The biggest missing component on that was finding a general contractor that we felt comfortable with. I've worked with plenty of competent people. The thing that sometimes is missing, unfortunately, is ethics.
So he actually brought Structured in to consult for him. Through that process, we did a deep dive into their plans. We did a deep dive into some bids. And we looked at what we thought the best path forward should be.
It seemed to me like Nick and Steve really had a good idea about how to manage their people. I really got a good feel for what they're trying to do. It really resonated with me, and that's what really drew me to the whole project with Structured.
Ultimately, we built the trust with Aaron, and with that, he signed the contract. So this project is 4 phases. Phase 1 is the first 3 buildings. It's 12 buildings total, done 3 buildings at a time. Aaron was under a strict timeline. We had to get started, and we mobilized less than a week after we signed the contract, which is unheard of.
We were ready to move quickly.
Now it was time to start putting the team together. Grant Reiner's our project director. He keeps the whole build on track. Coordinated schedules, crews, and making sure everything runs smoothly from start to finish. We needed a site superintendent that was going to be on site all day, every day, and we brought in Brian. He's out here every day leading the crew, making sure everything meets Structured standards. Actually, funny enough, Structured is my dad and I. Brian Reiner is actually Brant's dad. And it was literally a grass field with hay bales in it. We had to get the hay bales out. We have to make sure we have a place to work, so we bring in a job site trailer. It needs power, it needs water, it needs internet, because we have to have material stores. We have cameras to watch everything and make sure it's safe. We still have to have restroom facilities. So all these little things that go into setting up a project well so we can execute well before we even actually really start the work of building out this property.
Phase 1 basically is your foundation for the entire project, right? That's all your dirt work, electrical still to hook up. You have all your plumbing, all your underground utilities, minor dirt work.
So we're doing all the infrastructure in phase 1, all the site work, all the prep, and getting the site ready to develop the rest of the buildings.
Certain things had to be in place before the actual construction of the site. Erosion control. It's just a small 2-foot fence that stops all the erosion.
We have to make sure there's rocks. It gives us an entry driveway. So when they're coming in and out of the job site, you're getting all that dirt off the tires without making a big mud pit right before you come in and out of the job. Otherwise, we're gonna get calls from the city and calls from the tenant to come clean up the streets.
So we had a page turn meeting with our subcontractors. We brought in all the subcontractors to the site, and we had a big long table and we had all the drawings laid out. But it was really kind of interesting because during that meeting, we could look out and it started to rain. We didn't know at the time, but that was a bit of a premonition for how some of the work might go.
We do all the work, we get everybody on site, and it seemed like every day there was rain. Move dirt, it rains, we sit and wait till it dries out. We start to do it again, it rains, and I think through the first 4 months of the project, we lost almost 60% of our working days simply waiting for it to dry out.
You just got to roll with the punches with those. I mean, Mother Nature has her own mind, and she's going to do what she wants to do. It's going to happen, especially on a project that's taken 8 months to a year to complete. You can prepare for that too. In our schedule, we actually had an allowance for rain days.
We had an issue on a Saturday night at like 11:30. The rains had been coming all weekend.
There's a little pond in the back, a retention pond, and we had to almost triple that thing in size. So had equipment go in and start scraping it and making that pond bigger.
The pond was starting to overflow into an adjacent landowner's property. Aaron called Brant, so Brant called Brian. Brian called Brandon and said, "Hey, Brandon, you live close." It's 11:30 on Saturday night. Goes out to the site, trudges through the mud and sees what's happening. And there was a pump he could shut down that we had been pumping and stop the flow to the landowner. And the next day, Brian went over and visited with the landowner and made sure everything was okay.
So we brought up our waste pumps to put the hoses in and try to keep it dry, but we just had so much rain that those little pumps couldn't keep it dry enough to actually start dirt work. So we had to bring in a bigger 6-inch industrial size pump to dry out the pond so we could actually start working it. Put in retaining walls around the exterior of that to actually control the water, control the flow.
The whole landscape of the site drains a specific way, and the retaining wall, the reason why it's there, the pad has to be completely flat. So that retaining wall goes up behind it, so that way all that dirt can be filled up. Like the water drains on the backside of the buildings, the retaining wall kind of guides that water into drains.
It's all about, controlling the site. It's the hardest thing about ground up construction is getting out of the ground. We were just working towards, we got to get the dirt to where it needs to be so we can pour concrete. Because as soon as you get out of the ground, we all take a big breath of relief. We want to get concrete poured and start working on a controlled surface. Once that's in place, we have to come back in, we have to dig out utilities, we have to put all of our underground utilities, plumbing, electrical, conduits, but also we have to connect to the city. We have to connect further out, so we have to know where our transformers are going to be. And then we come in and we prepped and poured the foundations for each building. We are working as hard as we possibly can to catch up while it's dry, because we know in 3 days it's going to rain, and then it's going to dry out for 2 days, and then in 4 more days it's going to rain. I'm really proud of our team. I think with decades of experience comes the knowledge of how to react properly. Losing 60% of your days in the first 4 months of a project can be catastrophic. But what are some things we can start doing to rearrange the schedule and proactively plan so that we're still coming in with this project on time and on budget? And our team did an awesome job about that. We're still making really good progress because we had a great team in place and we were managing it well. Really excited to invite you to follow this project from beginning to end, to see every challenge, every milestone, and everything it takes to bring it all to life. On the next episode of Aubrey Stallion Business Park.
We were pouring concrete this morning, as you can see.
It's not just show up with a truck and dump it in a hole. There's a lot more logistics to it.
So our job here is to make sure that everything is going smoothly.